into the ring. Roy Tapia, 5-0-1 with a couple of knockouts, set to go in a 4-round junior featherweight bout against Eliezer Agosto. There is Agosto, 28-year-old from Puerto Rico, 3 inches taller than Tapia at 5'9" is Agosto, 122 3/4 pounds, 2-2 mark with a couple of knockouts. Did have 110 amateur fights. He started boxing at age 12. Roy Tapia started boxing at 8 years old, had 80 amateur bouts, and is unbeaten as a pro. The draw came back in March of 2012. This is his second fight of 2013, having turned pro in September of 2011.
This is a little high right in here. I'm going to let him work. Pelea duro, pelea limpio, toca los manos, buena suerte.
Jack Reese, your referee, for Agosto and the red-haired Roy Tapia.
Listo? Listo?
Dennis Rodman, reminder. Dennis Rodman, a former great NBA player with the Chicago Bulls and with some other teams, and of course, great rebounder.
An eccentric dresser.
Yeah, and crazy hairstyle.
Still trying to get the thought of Todd Grisham offering himself up in drag to play the part of Dolly Parton at a karaoke bar, as you would be Kenny Rogers. Cannot get that image out of my mind right now.
No, and I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to learn those lyrics,
no.
so don't depend on me.
Please, let's not have that happen.
For that. Anything else, I'm there for you, Todd. There for you, immediately.
Grisham's unbelievable.
Tapia is 7 years younger, smaller man. You know, until tonight at least. The bigger man has been Agosto. His last fight was 128. Well, his last 2 fights for Tapia were 121 and 122. But tonight, Agosto comes in the lightest of his career. So, you know, he drops down. Doesn't come in as the bigger man. Agosto is supposed to be here as an opponent. We'll find out whether or not he's read that script.
Tapia turning over that left hand there on the inside. Countering against that jab of Agosto. And then Agosto popping a jab straight down the alley against Tapia. Tapia digs in with a right hand. Agosto comes back with a right uppercut.
3 of the 4 fights for Agosto have been in Puerto Rico. All the fights for Tapia have been right here in the state of California.
And this is Agosto's first fight in California. There's a left hand right on the belt line from Roy Tapia.
One thing I can tell you about Tapia, his feet are usually set to be able to work to the body on the inside. And it looks like Agosto will give you that inside body work once in a while when he covers up and puts those earmuffs on sometimes.
The right hand to the body from Agosto.
Yeah, I think Tapia wants to concentrate on that left hook to the body. And maybe 2 left hooks to the body, 1 outside, 1 inside. And what I mean by 1 outside, 1 inside is you throw the left hook to the body. If the elbow is outside, then you go inside. If the elbow is inside, you go outside.
End of 1. Teddy, the foolproof punch of the night brought to you by Just for Men. We go back to Rustam Nagaev and those left hooks.
Yeah, all left hooks. Most of them to the head early on because the right hand of Hernandez was down. His hook was wide. But the last one, the finishing one, down to the body.
And Nagaev would score a 5th round knockout as Hernandez was just broken down, took a knee, stayed down for a count of 10. As we open up round 2 with a bit of fireworks here between Agosto and the 5-0-1 Roy Tapia, as Agosto confidently coming forward and firing off right hands and Tapia tying up.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, if Agosto is supposed to be here as an opponent, as I suggested, for the undefeated Tapia, he's not behaving like one. He did not read the script.
Tapia placing that left hand to the body.
But Tapia is going to try to make him believe in the script by going, I believe, and staying to the body with that left hook. I think that's the bread and butter for Tapia. And if there's an advantage for Tapia, it's just one. His feet are set, Joe. He's always set to punch. Every once in a while, Agosto winging away, doing a good job, showing a lot of heart and a lot of fire, but he's not set on his feet. He's out of position every once in a while. Tapia is always in position. And just watch. But that time, Tapia got caught with an uppercut because the free swinging Agosto caught him in the middle. You know, Tapia is open for an uppercut. Puts those, you know, he goes into that peekaboo a little bit on the inside, lays his head in the middle, and you can split the guard with that uppercut.
Oh, he just went for it right there, just as you said it.
But again, maybe the more solid puncher is Tapia. And the reason, because the bottom floor, the foundation is solid. And if the foundation is solid, your feet are solid, your punches can be solid. And you can see the difference. Tapia just a little bit more set on his feet. His punches are directed a little bit better, a little sturdy, a little bit more solid, and you can see it now because he's always set on his feet. Well, sometime Agosto, not set, a little out of position once in a while.
And when you're not, right hands here.
And Joe, when your feet aren't set, it's hard to transfer the power to the opponent. So you're out of position a little. I like to tell fighters, grab the floor. You know, make believe you got cleats on and put your feet into that floor and punch with the floor. But if your feet shift and they move like Augustus do, sometimes, like there, sometimes you slide a little bit and your punches aren't as solid because you have nothing underneath you. Yeah, nice solid
combination,
shot.
Good uppercut from Roy Tapia as he's taking control here in the late stages of this second round against Agosto. Before this round, we showed you Nagaev and the knockout of Jose Hernandez. As for what happened to Hernandez, let's check in with Bernardo Osuna.
You know, I was in the locker room just a few minutes ago with Jose Hernandez, who was there with Mr. Espinoza, who is his manager, and you know, he's upset and disappointed in the way the fight ended. His last 3 losses had been by disputed decision. Here there was no doubt, and he told me that the pressure from Nagaev was constant, and after he got hurt in round 1, it changed his fight plan completely. Suffering 6 of his 7 losses in his last 11 fights, no doubt he's been matched very tough.
Thank you, Bernardo. Got hurt early in round 1 and had to survive that. Got hurt early in round 3, then late in round 4, and then by round 5, the accumulation, the eroding away, and Nagaev was just applying too much constant pressure and getting after Hernandez and scoring the knockout when Hernandez on his own decided to take a knee.
You know, I talked about the ocean coming and coming and coming, and in that fight with Nagaev, Nagaev represented that ocean, and the ocean comes, but the ocean takes away too, because when it goes back out, it takes some of that land, it takes some of that sand, it erodes what was there, and that's what you saw with Nagaev. He took away something from Hernandez every time he came at him.
Round 3 here scheduled for 4 as the 5-0-1 21-year-old Roy Tapia taking control of things against Eliezer Agosto. Digging in with left hands.
Tapia said before the fight that he was cutting the gym in training camp for this fight, in sparring.
Said 2 times.
Yeah, twice actually. And he said, of course, it's healed up now, but one thing you don't want to have happen is for one of those cuts not to be healed and to open up.
That's the reason why he went from January up until this bout here in August without a fight. Now Agosto going straight back into that neutral corner and then taking 1 step forward to tie up.
You know, one bad sign for Agosto besides the punches he get in tonight. After his pro debut, Joe, he took off 1 year and 8 months. Then in his next fight, he was knocked out. And now he might be on his way to being knocked out again as the body work of Tapia shows itself. Again, Tapia always set. Deliver punch with the floor under him.
Left hook. Tapia.
And what he's doing now, Tapia, is just stepping to him. Walking him down with his hands up, and making Agosto feel like there's an immovable force in front of him that he can't stop.
Good right hand, and it sends Agosto down, and this fight is over.
Good job by the referee, Jack Reeves. He saw enough, we saw enough, and Agosto had enough.
Lou.
2 knockdowns scored in the 3rd round as Roy Tapia gets the 3rd knockout of his career.
I like the way Tapia looked, you know, set on his feet all the time and putting punches together in a nice, solid, and a nice, educated way. Watch the body work. I talked about it earlier, that's the forte, and there's the right hand underneath. Placed at the right time. He waited, Tapia waited for Agosto to throw a left hand. He went under it. As he did there was an opening, and what he did, he took advantage of that opening. Threw that right hand at the right time when the left hand was out. And now the end of the fight. Goes downstairs and upstairs. Downstairs and then upstairs with a nice straight right hand. Setting his punches up, take another look. Setting his punches up nice. Left uppercut that distracted Agosto. Didn't land, but it distracted him. And then the perfect punch behind it. Straight right hand. And there's a celebration for Tapia.
California kid. All his fights have been here in his home state. LA-based Roy Tapia. Now 6-0-1. Let's go up to the ring, get the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes, 15 seconds of round number 3. Our referee in charge, Jack Reese, waves off the contest. Your winner by technical knockout and still undefeated, Roy the Pitbull Tapia.
Nice effort by Tapia there in round number 3, coming on strong, finishing things off. 6-0-1 is the 21-year-old Roy Tapia.